Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of Almost a Party. This is episode 33. We are back after a 2 month break due to vacations and schedules kind of going wild. Figured we'd get in a couple games, hopefully, this month before the Christmas holidays and another long break. But it's been a while. Most of us are back for this session. We've got one player that's out that just couldn't make it, but hopefully they will be joining us next time. So to recap, since it's been a while for everybody, we last left our players who, after the King's End Festival, had gone to investigate uh, one of the men who caused a bit of a disturbance during the King's End Festival about the statue being uncovered. Finding out that this person is the grandson of the Kingslayer, here they wanted to talk to him. After waiting around and trying to get a chance to talk to him, they were told to leave, only to have him stalk them to their house and introduce himself there. After discussions about plans and futures, an agreement was struck, and they were funded to go and search out on some specific things. Previously, before that, Alondiel had been asked to return home to go on a pilgrimage. So the players decided that in the morning that they would leave and start heading towards Alondiel's home of Delistar, the Elven Island, to begin his pilgrimage. As they chartered a boat downriver to the city of Shadowden, so that they could then take a much larger boat across the Elven Crossing over to the island of Delistar. The boat was ambushed, set up in a trap along the river, a little ways outside of Shadowden, where they were attacked by a group of orcs. Having fought and nearly died, they emerge victorious. So, players, in the aftermath of this, some of you just barely holding on, several dead orcs around you, and the city of Shadowden, you can see buildings rising off in the distance. What would you like to do?
Loot the bodies.
Yeah,
See what
look
they
if
have on them.
there's see if they have any notes, if we were a targeted thing or if they're just targeting any boat.
Okay. Um, yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Well, that
I
is a
rolled a
4.
I got a 10. I
I
rolled a
hurt though,
5.
so
I am waiting on D&D Beyond to interact.
I got a 3 and it was almost a 19. I would have had a 21.
Okay. And apparently, T&D Beyond does not like Ore.
Nope,
Because that's
nope, it
still
does not like me at all
taking
today. I'm
forever to
watching
roll.
this exceptionally slow animation of my dice just glitch across my screen. This is not. Hey, now it's starting to move.
Like
Jiminy.
it's 3D printing the dice as it rolls it.
It is. It is layer by layer. I got a 17 investigation check.
No, you got a 16. Zerdig got the 17.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So as the five of you are all investigating different bodies, most of you come across just a few bits of coin and thing, adding up to about a total of 5 gold between the three of you, Sadzi, Mizeki, and Alandiel. That's really all you come across. Ore, as you and Zerdig are investigating and searching, in particular, who you identified to be the leader, the warlock, you come across inside of her jacket that there is hidden pockets, and inside you do find that there are several handwritten notes. Does anybody speak or read Orcish?
I do not.
no.
No.
Negative.
We'll have to pay somebody to translate it at the city.
Yep. Yes, so you have no idea what these say, but you did uncover them.
Fantastic.
So, all right. So as you are here and you're looking around, you can see Shadowden off in the distance. You can walk to it, cutting across the land, or you could continue following the river and have it circle around until you reach the docks of Shadowden. So
Did our
two
boat
ways
get
to go about it.
shattered?
Yeah, the boat got shattered. It was blown up.
Okay. I guess go check on the ferryman person.
Oh,
If
yeah.
they're long gone.
Yeah, they are long gone, floating body in the river. For as you guys were swimming to shore, you saw it floating down the river.
Okay. I'll offer a short shoreside like brief death ritual for easy passing on. And then I guess point to the city in the distance when I start walking.
Who's low on health? There's 2 people low on health right now. Is it?
I'm at half.
Zerdik's at 1.
Yeah, so
Mm.
it's Zerdig
I'm
and
at
on the other.
28, so.
Yeah.
I will give Zerdik just first level cure wounds.
And Zerdik will also do that on himself as well.
I have slightly more than 1.
Okay, so Zerdik gave himself 11. How much are you giving him, Ore?
Looks like I am going to give him 13.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna cast a first level cure wounds on myself too.
Okay.
For 11.
And who else needed? Someone else was really close to the bottom.
I think everybody else is roughly at half their hit points.
Yeah.
It was me. I was
Gotcha.
2
Okay.
more than 1.
Got ya.
So
I remember there were 2 that were really close, and I just couldn't remember who they were, so I apologize for that. Yeah, that's fine for now. Are there any nearby roads? I mean, obviously the structures in the far different. Like there's like footpaths, anything well worn, a clear sign of
no.
travel area.
So not from where you guys are. You guys got a little ways past where the bridge is that crosses this river. So you remember going under the bridge. It's a while back, but that was the closest road. Where you guys ended up, you're basically at the point where the river does meet with the sea, and known as the Elven Crossing here. And so you can continue following the river until it actually reaches the sea, and then just follow the coast around to the docks, or you could just start cutting across the land towards the buildings that you can see in the distance. You estimate those buildings are maybe half an hour away walking. So
Yeah, just walk.
Oh yeah, walking makes sense, and we're on the right side of the river to just walk across.
correct. You don't need to cross
Gotcha.
the river to
Cool.
get there. So you are on the proper side of the river.
Well, that's a good thing, at least.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Ernest is having an amazing time on the floor.
Okay. So as you guys continue and you make your way towards the city, it's fairly uneventful. As you continue on, um, you finally reach the city as the buildings are opened up. You can see that you are now close to where the road is. You can see the road coming from behind you now towards the west, back towards the city of Drusus. And then you also see around it bends and continues further north as well. If you don't want to go into the city, it has a cross that goes off and leads further north. As you make your way into the city of Shadowden, this is pretty much just a shipping town. It's docks and lots of people who are just transient workers. come in on boats and leave on boats. There's not a lot of people that seem like they live here constantly, and all of the buildings kind of give you that feeling as well, that they're a little bit more run down and less taken care of, with the exception of the inns and taverns. They seem to be the nicest and fanciest buildings in Shadowden.
Okay. I'm not certain where we should go.
You do know that you need to make your way across the Elven Crossing, so the
Yeah.
docks are going to be the best place to start.
Yeah.
And so the question is where you want to go from there, because there were talks about 2 cities that you could make your way to from Shadowden. So
Yeah.
Emberhall is the closest city. It's on the closest shore to Shadowden on the island of Delistar, and there are boats that go pretty regularly back and forth between them. But you could wait and see if you could find a boat that goes all the way to Delistar, which would go around Emberhall and straight to the capital city there. It's a little bit longer by boat, and you don't know how long it goes. If you had wanted to take a boat to Delistar, it would have been better to go to Orthris, as the 2 larger cities connect a bit more.
Time-wise, we were okay taking a boat and then hiring a carriage, and we'd have enough time that way, right? If we went to
Correct.
Emberhall.
It's
Okay.
going to be about the same amount of time. So, like, if you were to get a boat that left Shadowden for Emberhall and a boat left around the same time to Delistar, you would reach Delistar about the same time, whether you went to Emberhall first or directly to Delistar. The question is there a boat leaving for Delistar?
Mhm.
So,
I'm fine going to Emberhall.
I'm all for not having to be on the sea longer.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Zerdik also has that opinion. Being underground, crossing the water, doesn't seem to be his favorite activity.
What is the amount of time we're looking at crossing from Shadowden to Emberhall? How
Uh,
how much time at sea?
so Shadowden to Emberhall is going to be about a week and a half.
Okay.
So, and then the rest of your time there from Emberhall to Delistar is going to be about 2 weeks on carriage.
Cool. Cool.
And that takes care of your first month. And then, Alondo, you've been informed that the pilgrimage from Delistar to Maple Stump is usually a month-long process. So,
Okay.
and that would be your 2 months into the new year that you have
Just enough time to go over
to use your
those off.
stone and go over to help Aegon.
Okay.
All right. So, making your way towards the docks, looking for a boat to Emberhall.
hmm
It's really easy to find the docks in Shadowden. All of the roads tend to just filter down to the docks, as that's where all of the activity is going to go. And so you're able to make your way there pretty quickly, and you can see that uh, although Drusus is a large city and you think the docks there are large, they are nothing compared to Shadowden. Shadowden is mostly docks as you get here. You just kind of see all along the coast there are several docks with ships coming in and going out. As you're just making your way down, you can see plenty of them coming in and going out of various different sizes. Some are clearly cargo ships, some are clearly passenger ships. Some are just little dinghies that people use to go upriver, up to Drusus, or upriver up to the Horsey to places further north.
I feel like Bezeki's just gonna be kind of super impressed by the sheer scale of stuff here, right? Because like he's familiar with pretty busy dock areas, but this is intense. So he's probably going to get easily distracted for a while.
Yeah, and there are definitely some larger docking cities that you've been to, um,
Yeah,
but not many rival this.
yeah.
There's
And it's
and
been a
where
while.
we actually went to the docks.
yeah. So, like the other places where you went to the docks, like Helena's Folly and Last Breath, there's not a lot of traffic that goes to the Wild compared to how much traffic goes to Delistar. The elves have a fairly good trade business going on and back and forth, so there's a lot more activity happening up north than there is down south. The only places that you have heard of that possibly have larger docks than Shadowden on this continent are going to be Langer, which is the city closest to Manway and Overland's Haven, which they pass through the Merchant's Mist to cross the Aegis Ocean till you get there.
About what time of the day is it when we get here? Because it wasn't late in the day when we were blown out of the river, right?
So it was starting to be about evening because you were expected to arrive in Shadowden on your second night of travel down the river. And so it's getting dark as you're making your way down to it. You can see that the sun is beginning to set. But it's the middle of summer, so it's still like 9 p.m. when that's happening. So it's fairly late,
Gotcha.
but it's not dark yet.
And once we're in town, is there like an obvious dock management system, manager, port master, someplace we'd be able to go and like rent a boat or charter to cross?
So there is, as you make your way to the docks, you can see that there are clearly a group of people that are organizing as ships come in of where to go from there, helping people get things unloaded, loading up passengers as well, and kind of just directing everybody to go. So there is a whole group that does seem to manage that. You don't see a specific person that seems to be in charge of everybody, but you do see that there are plenty of people that could help direct you and point you in any direction that you'd like to go.
Cool. I think the moment Ore sees that, he pointed out to the group, I think we need to speak to those people to be able to book passage.
So there
Seems
are
fair.
plenty of them.
I kind of want to look them over and see if any of them seem particularly likely to give us a better deal or to swindle us.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an insight check, just as you're approaching and looking at them.
I'm bad at insight, so I got an 8.
Can I go with Mazeki and also roll for insight?
Yeah, if you also want to check them out. So they're as you're getting closer and you can see them better, you can and identify them more by their uniforms as you get there. You notice that they're all wearing this kind of ashen gray and dirt brown outfit that represents Shadowden. And they are just directing all of the captains of the ships as they get off, where to take their crew, where to go. Um, as you're getting down here, you count in total about 20 different of them of all various races.
I assume we're all staying together as a group, right?
Yeah. The 5 of you are making your way through. You guys are also a eclectic group of different
Yeah.
peoples. So you
I'm going to throw my insight in there as well,
oddly
just to
fit
see.
in here. So
Beautiful. This is probably the first place where we do oddly fit in.
yeah.
I beat Sadzi by 1.
Okay. So with you guys just kind of trying to size them up just by looking at them, you can't really tell who's going to give you a good deal, who's going to try and swindle you. Uh, you mostly get the impression that they're constantly busy and they don't care for small talk. Anytime you see any of the captains or any of the crew just try and casually talk to them, they just kind of blow them off and like be like business, business, business. So
All right. So we should only talk to them once we know exactly what we want to do, basically.
which you do, you want to go to Emberhall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know we want to
Party
head
of
to
5 for Emberhall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most likely on the next boat leaving, ideally.
Yeah. So whoever whoever's leaving soonest for Emberhall that can take 5 passengers.
All right. Okay. So you make your way up, and as you're getting closer, there are two of these directors that you could approach equal distance to you. One of them is a dark uh, colored skin, short fellow with a big sprouting nose. Zerdig instantly recognizes them as a deep gnome, Zepnerblin. The other is a human fellow who looks like they are in their mid to late 50s.
I have rolled for the deep gnome. Actually, probably don't really like the deep races at this point, just out of general.
hmm
We've not had great interactions with that group of people.
Yeah,
mean-
but we have Zerdik. We could ask him to talk for us,
That's
yeah.
true.
theoretically.
And you
just...
didn't meet many gnomes while you were down there.
Yeah.
So.
But it reminds me of being underground.
Mhm. Fair.
Yeah,
fair.
we can send Zerdik, I guess, to ask him.
Okay.
See if we can get like the college student discount or whatever.
Okay. So you guys make your way over to the gnome who is directing people. As he sees you coming, he just kind of looks at you all. Hello, I am Snashel Nickel Counter. What can I do for you?
Party of 5, Emberhold. First ship possible, please.
Party of 5 for Emberhold. One moment, and he pulls out some papers from his bag, and he starts looking, and he goes, um, next ship, you'll want to speak with Captain Toggs. Leaves in an hour. Dock 20, and he points you off in the direction where that is.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Many thanks.
Very well. If you need anything else, come back and see me. You get the attitude that he just doesn't really care about his job and is probably close to being done for the day and wants to get out of here. Just
You
from
done? Yeah, I get that.
Phoning it in until he can go home.
yeah, just
He's
from
just
the
watching
way
the
he's
clock
talking.
at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Dock 20.
All right. So as you make your way down to the docks, you see the one that you are currently at is dock 35. And so you've got a few docks to go to get down to dock 20. And as you start making your way there, you notice that it's smaller and smaller ships that you're getting there. And so where you came in, they were more of the cargo ships that need to be a lot larger to carry lots of cargo. But as you're getting further and further down, they're turning into smaller and smaller passenger ships.
Okay.
So as you make your way down, eventually you reach dock 20. And you see that there is a group of people just kind of standing in line waiting to board the ship. There are a few people that seem to be wearing similar uniforms that are running around and talking to the people in line and trying to organize and get them. As you approach, you see one of them kind of notice you and begin running up to you and goes, 5 of you. I don't know that we'll be
Yeah.
able to fit you on the ship.
We can like bend up pretty small. How much room do you need?
Well, we have currently, and you see him kind of turn and look and begin counting the line. He's like, we've got 40 people already boarding. We have 42 rooms. So I guess
that'll
if
be
you
fun.
all squeeze together in 2 rooms, we can make you, but the rooms are small and designed for a single person. And we would still charge you a per person, not a per room rate.
What's the rate?
So to Emberhall, it is 5 gold from here, and that is for a round trip. If you're stopping in Emberhall, it's 2.5 gold, 2 gold, 5 silver.
We'll do 5 for a one-way.
Five,
We'll,
five,
we'll deal
five
with
is
the
for the round
crampness.
trip. So you're
As in 5 people. Sorry.
oh,
Yes.
sorry, my misunderstanding. Very well. Uh, well, it's gonna be crowned for you, but if you're okay with that, that's fine by us. You can pay as you get on the boat. Go ahead and hop in line. It's nice to meet you. I am Captain Togs, and you're looking at him, and he's this really fit human gentleman, and that is extremely large and muscular, and looks like he's definitely seen his fair few of fights. He's got scars across his arms and on his face, as you can see, and his head is completely shaved.
Mighty gracious of you, Captain. Thank you.
And he continues and begins running. And as he does, he stops to talk to a few of the others in his similar uniform. And they come and walk past you. And anytime anybody else comes by and starts stopping like they're getting on the ship, they just immediately wave them away, saying that they're full. The boarding process takes about half an hour, and you guys are able to board the ship. As you are boarding the ship, you pass by the crew, and you don't see Captain Togs as you are boarding it. And at the helm, there is this orcish man who is just kind of standing there and waiting as everybody gets on. As the last of you gets on, and they start untying the ship from the dock to set off. Uh, he speaks as if he has the authority of the captain, and they begin taking off and setting off for
We've been
Emberhall.
sold into slavery.
Quite possibly. Uh, as you are going and the ship has set off, you are led down to your room by this little halfling who you'd guess is maybe 10, fairly young. And he just leads you down to your 2 rooms, and he goes, I have no idea how you big people are going to squeeze in here, but they told me to take the 5 of you down to these 2 rooms, so...
We're
Whew.
surprisingly good at compression.
Yeah.
If necessary, I could sit on any random bench that is not in these rooms to free up space for the rest of my companions.
Well, I don't know how Captain Togs would feel about that. So he doesn't like people being out on the ship if it gets stormy, and so being in your room's the best place. You're free to roam around the docks during the day when there's not any severe or inclement weather going on, but other than that, you should be in your rooms. The mess hall is down the way here. And so that's where meals are. Meals are at 7, midday, and 6. Those are the only times you can get meals. So if you're hungry, you got to make your way to the mess hall at those times. Otherwise, you do not eat.
Roger that, little one.
Okay.
We got little ways. Be here for about 10, 11 days on the sea, and we'll get you to Emberhall. All right. And then he just kind of scurries off, takes running.
Before he walks away, I reach into my coin pouch and I hand him 2 coppers, and I'm like, I believe this is the normal behavior, and I just hand him 2 copper.
He quickly snatches it, and it disappears almost instantly as he takes it from your hand, and you don't see where he put them, but they're clearly not in his hands anymore.
And after he walks away, I turn to Mizeki. That is the proper gratuity, right?
I'm trying to figure out. Sure. That seems fair. Be careful holding out too many coins, though, given how good his hands were.
I instantly check and see if I still have my coin purse.
You do.
Understood.
All right. So it is evening time. If you would all like to go ahead and clock in a long rest, you've got 2 rooms, which each only have a singular bed.
I mean, well, so how do we divvy up? Do we put the elves and the warforged in the room again?
Well, so Sadzi and Mizeki, I guess, are the only people that need beds, but Mizeki has his
Ring.
extra dimensional space
Yeah, I
ring
can
that he can go
disappear
to.
for, is it
S-
6 hours now?
6 hours now, because that's
Yeah,
twice your
which is a
proficiency bonus.
rest time.
So, um, the
Well,
rest of you
yeah.
don't need beds. So, yeah,
I stand against the door of one of the rooms.
you guys
Ori
really
stands
do.
against the door,
Like,
and then me and Zerdig will just sit on the bed because it's more comfortable for meditating on.
yeah, because it's one of those things where like we talk about this every long rest, but you guys really do condense down when you sleep. So,
I just don't want them watching me while I sleep.
yes. Okay,
Weirdos.
so you're in
Or
the
I will turn
room
around and face
with
the
Mizeki's
door.
ring. Or you could just have all the 4 others go into one room and you get the room to yourself, Satsi.
I mean, that's not a bad
Because
idea.
the elves can hold on to the ring.
Yeah.
Well, or we can just leave it in my room,
Right.
and if he pops out of it, there's plenty of room.
Space-wise, that is going to be better, because Mizeki popping out with Zerdig on the bed, Alandiel also on the bed, and then Z2 and Ore standing guard. There's not going to be much room for Mizeki to pop out.
You know, if we've got Z2 with us, we should put Ore in the other room in front of the door. That way we've got somebody body blocking all entrances.
Yeah, and that's easy enough for Ori to do. I'll just stand there with like facing the door, give Sadzi as much privacy as I can.
Okay. Easy enough. So you guys have it sorted what you want to do with your rooms, and you may all go ahead and take your long rest. Useful since you were all just in a fight not that long ago.
Oh,
Yay.
so good.
Yeah, we show up scuffed and bloody, like first boat out of town, please.
Right.
No, I promise. There's nothing weird about us. Oh.
Yeah, I mean you weren't all that scuffed up because you did take some time to heal with magic, and so all of the major wounds were definitely gone. And so travelers coming in looking dirty is not uncommon. So, all right.
Remind me again, what was the language that note was in again that nobody speaks?
Orcish.
Orcish.
Okay, well, there's an Orcish helmsman. Just wanted to throw that out there.
We might want to wait a little bit before asking. Hey, we found this off people that
Last
tried to
day.
murder us.
Last day on the boat.
Or any other travelers or crewmen. That
We
looked
can
like he was the first. That looked like he was the first mate, so he's probably a little more important than wanting to deal with us.
Do we not have the ability to cast spells with
Comprehend language?
Yeah, comprehend language. Thank you. As a ritual, like, does no one can't Elandiel just pick it up? Is that not a?
I don't think it's a
I
cleric
don't
spell.
believe it's a cleric
Is
spell.
it not a cleric spell? Is it a wizard spell?
It is a
I
bard,
don't have it.
sorcerer, warlock, wizard. It's an everybody but me spell.
I think Zirdig might be the only one who can cast it, right?
I don't
Possibly?
think Zirdig can because artificers are a half caster.
Druid.
I could
archmage.
have if I had access to it
Yeah.
as
Let's
a
see.
rogue.
What's the warlock spell or Eyes of the Runekeeper? Is that where you can read
Yeah.
everything?
The invocation,
Yeah.
Location. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
When do I get to swap my spells?
Anytime you level up, I believe.
Yeah. Also, as far as translating the Orcish document goes, we can just wait until like the midday mess hall, since that's probably when the most people will show up, and see if we can scout out somebody who might be able to translate it for us.
Right. You also know people that could translate this for you. They're just back in the other direction. because Rorgo Reed, one of the counselors, is half orc.
How long is the note?
You found 5 pages of notes.
Okay, that's
A
too much for somebody.
a couple of them are just a few lines, but some of them are the full page. So
It also might be much more beneficial to ask an orcish crew member who lives on the boat than just some random traveler who may or may not be following us.
yeah,
That's fair.
so you have options. It's just which options do you want to pursue? So all right, but yeah, in the morning you guys have free reign to go on the ship. You wake up early enough that it is before breakfast time, before the 7 a.m. The sun is out. It's a fairly clear day, so you're able to roam around the deck and hang out on the ship, or to wander about, stick to your rooms, or go to the mess hall and meet people as they come in.
I
Uh,
want
uh,
to capture some cool images from the deck of like whoever's running the current shift, giving their orders and stuff.
Okay. So you want to capture images of the people that are running around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as you do, and you start making that, you notice at the helm, instead of the orc that was there last night, instead there is a bugbear at the helm today.
Cool.
So big, long, lanky arms, fairly hairy, and significantly taller than the orc that was there the night before.
I would go with Alondiel as well. What's the method of propulsion on this boat? Is it just sails or is it arcane in nature?
It is a combination.
And is the bridge an open bridge or is it like an enclosed bridge?
It's open.
And is there an obvious navigator?
There is not.
Okay. Or I will probably spend he'll hang out with Alondiel on deck while Alondiel draws and paints, and or he's just going to kind of keep an eye over Alondiel's shoulder, constantly wants to see what it looks like, and spend some of his time playing with the astrolabe and try and really discern the navigational aspects of the astrolabe. Start trying to pick up that skill set.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely spend your time on the ship doing so. What about Satsi and Mizeki? Anything that you two are wanting to do on this day?
Probably just stand out in the sun a little bit and maybe eye the sea and see if the crew members are terribly watchful or if I could possibly go fishing over the side of the ship there.
So as you're looking around, like, yeah, the crew is definitely watchful, but there are people fishing. So you could definitely go fishing.
Mizaki's probably going to primarily focus on not being in the way since he's chunky and talking to his familiar.
Okay.
That's just while it's sitting on his shoulder and just watching the waves go by.
Right.
Because they're not on particularly rough seas, so.
Right. And that's Crow right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically you're just kind of chilling in your room to stay out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere he can find a spot where he can stay out of the way.
Yeah,
Probably
I mean,
his room or nearby the fishing people.
yeah, well, one of your rooms is the easiest way to stay out of the way because no one's
Yeah.
going to come in there. But if you do
Yeah.
want to get out and get some fresh air, there is room on the dock, or on the deck. Talking about the huge docks just has dock stuck in my head, but yeah, there's plenty of room on the deck for you to
Yeah.
hang out and chill.
So he'd probably go to the deck as often as he felt like he could not be completely in the way of the crew.
Okay. All right. So as you are all doing this, doing your various things, you notice that with the exception of the crew, everybody begins leaving the deck and heading down below. Those of you that have any kind of skill training in nature are able to tell that by the sun's position, it's close to breakfast time. So they are all disappearing below deck to head to the mess hall. But nothing else is really happening in this morning. Whether you decide to go to breakfast is up to you.
Or I would stay on deck and really quickly cast Druidcraft to find out what the weather is going to be like for us for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, so it is clear skies ahead. There doesn't seem to be any weather except for winds. The winds are supposed to pick up later in the day, but they will be favorable to the direction that you are traveling.
Cool.
I mean, we paid for the food, right?
Say,
Yeah,
is
that
it an almost a party if we don't eat?
yeah. So
Yeah.
It is not, sir. We must eat.
It's one of the 3 rules. We got to eat something.
gotta eat something. But I mean, there is a week and a half worth of meals, 3 meals a day, so plenty of time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like, oh look, it's the same breakfast as yesterday. Oh look, it's the same gruel as
got
yesterday.
fish. We have
I was going to
fish
say
and
I don't need to
fish.
eat, but me as a player had a cookie in my mouth at the time, so
Yeah.
I think that's washed.
I don't need to eat.
Yeah. All right.
But Chad, I think the goal here for Mazeki is going to be like while eating and everything, trying to get to know if anybody looked like they could both help them translate this stuff while they're going and might be someone interesting in general, which I know is a very vague thing, but he's got a lot of time, so.
Okay. Just a sec here. Sorry, I'm dealing with chat on here. Okay. So sorry, can you repeat that?
He's gonna be looking just for anyone that seems interesting or can possibly help them translate. That's not part of the crew.
Okay. So that's not part of the crew.
Yeah, because we've got a full boat of people, and I know some people are checking. We've talked about it, like, okay, we can probably ask the crew when we're ready to leave, but there's
Okay.
another like 30 some people.
Yeah, there's another 40 people there because I've got the 42 rooms and they were all full, but 2 of them when you got here. Um, so yeah, looking around at the other passengers, none of them seem to stick out as particularly interesting. There are a few of them that, by their mannerisms, might understand Orcish. They just have that same kind of attitude that the people who attacked you did, but they do not appear to be orcs themselves. Um, but as far as that goes, like, this seems like a pretty standard crew, mostly elves heading back home. So
Okay. Huh. None of those sounds super great. Maybe we should just harass the elves.
yes, I'm sure the 2 elves in your party would love it if you did that.
Suggestions?
All right. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else that you're wanting to do in the morning as breakfast is being served, just as you're checking out the people,
Yeah.
none that really call out to you, you can go ahead and continue. The rest of the day goes by pretty uneventful as the midday meal comes around. Um, a few more people are gathered in the mess hall. Those of you that go notice that, so there's a few more people here.
Okay.
But again, most of them seem fairly normal. No one really stands out as super interesting. No one has anything that's like calling attention to them. Um, which in a way could be calling attention to them depending on the situation that they're in. But everyone just seems kind of chill. You get a fairly good count of the crew between the 5 of you as you're going about the day. You gather that the crew itself is about 20 people, including the halfling child. You count that there are 4 others that are children that are helping around and helping run the ship.
Okay, so this is similar to like what Mizeki's used to, where the kids go along and help and.
Yep, whether the
Oh,
crew,
nice.
whether these kids are related to adults on the crew or runaways you don't know without engaging with them. So they're probably the most interesting people
Yeah,
because of their age and their working. But do you want to go talk with children?
I mean, I've got a lot of candy.
So you're gonna go give candy to children on a boat. Got it.
I mean, they're kids. Like, I don't know. I guess at this point, they were recently just attacked. So Mizeki will probably just try and avoid attracting attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So Alondale, you've been able to get some really good images of the crew sketched out for you to do more work on later, as well as several good scenes of the land off in the distance as you're making your way further and further away from Shadowden.
Nice.
First day goes by uneventful. Ore about right on cue around 2 in the afternoon. The wind picks up just as you expected it would, and you guys make a little bit of better time as the crew knows exactly what to do with those winds, and the ship picks up a bit of speed, and you continue on making your way towards Emberhall.
While I'm hanging out up on deck, because if everybody else leaves for mealtime, Ore will stay up there, even if it's just by himself. Does any other passengers linger during those times?
There are a few that don't go to all of the meals, but if you're staying for all of the meals, you don't count someone that also missed all the meals in the day. So you'll
Got
see
it.
some people that missed the morning meal and others that missed the afternoon and evening meals, but no one that missed more than one.
Any that I would suspect as following us.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
That looks like it's going to be a 10.
No, everyone seems to be fairly normal from what you can tell. The oddest
Cool.
thing is you see more people than you think take control of the helm. Like, you've been on a few ships and you know how many people are usually qualified to do that. And from the time you've gotten on the ship to this evening that's coming up, just about making it 24 hours, you've seen a total of 5 different people running the helm.
Oh,
5 different
goodness.
people have run the helm on the first day.
Yep.
Any people repeatingly taking that helm, or is it always just a different person each time? No one has come back and done it twice.
It's always been a different person. Different races and genders apply.
Have we seen the captain
Uh,
again?
None of you have seen the captain since he spoke to you in line.
Are the
Are
people taking the helm still in the same outfit, like the kind of standard uniform that everybody else was wearing when we were boarding?
Yeah, everybody has that same kind of uniform. So everyone that's taking the helm is wearing the uniform as well.
okay,
As,
are the people who are helming the ship, are there's like one person's on the helm and then there's someone standing by them, almost like teaching them, or is it they're just up there by themselves?
They're just up there by themselves.
Okay, so I have several guesses. My first guess is that the boat mostly drives itself, like that river one did. My second guess is that we've been kidnapped by changelings.
It was a lake.
It was the Black Pond.
Okay, sure.
with the changing of each of these individuals, they're all in the same, repeatedly the same uniform, and the uniforms fit appropriate to each being. No, there's not
Correct.
one uniform that is obviously 3 sizes too small, stretched out over a larger frame or anything like that. You said we did not see the captain again. Since I'm on deck playing with the astrolabe and the other cartography tools that I have, trying to discern like direction and location, does it feel like we're on course
Yeah.
to? Okay.
So you're definitely on course with where you know Emberhall is. I mean, Shadowden and Emberhall are almost directly across from each other. Emberhall's a little further south than Shadowden, but you're headed essentially just straight east. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so the first day comes and goes fairly uneventful. In the morning on the second day, as you guys all wake up and make your way up to the deck and doing your various different things, this is the first time you do see a repeat of someone on the helm, and this is the Bugbear is back on the helm.
He's
All right.
back up at the same time as he was the day before.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go ask him by sending my bird over.
Okay, so you're just up there, and you whisper to your crow.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my crow go over and land next to him, but not like on him, and ask him why so many people drive the boat.
All right. So the crow goes over, lands on the um, helm, and you hear ask the question, and the Bugbear just begins laughing. Fiend, and he calls over one of the other crew members. There's, and he just kind of points at the crow and says, "Say it again. Say it again." Would your crow respond
He's
to?
gonna say again
Okay.
because he's an asshole.
So wait, he says it again, or does he repeat?
He says it again.
Okay.
No, he just says the words "it" again. He's been requested to say it again. He will say it again.
And he goes, "No, no, no. What you told me a moment ago. What you asked me. Say that. Say that."
Oh, why so many drive the boat?
At this point, the other crew member just begins laughing, and he goes, "Ugh, crows can talk. They're funny. Asking silly questions." Well,
He's
Crow,
gonna,
if you must
yeah.
know, my name is Ravin. I am the first mate, and everybody else that helms the crew is the captain.
Changeling? He's gonna like tilt his head to the side in the weird way that birds do.
Wouldn't you like to know, Crow? Wouldn't you like to know?
Why I asked. And he's gonna hop around a bit. It's being a bird.
Yes. And the Bugbear just goes to shoo the crow.
I'm being encouraged to bite him. I don't think I'm gonna bite him. He'll flutter back a little bit and then make a disdainful sound, and then go back to where he was.
Okay.
Pass along this information. I guess actually he doesn't need to because he's in range for telepathy. So
Yep. Yeah. So the Bugbear follows the crow, sees it land on you. And a moment later, one of the
I will wave openly. Like I'm not trying to be secret about it. I just didn't want to walk over there as a centaur.
right. Yeah.
Be like, hey there.
A moment later, one of the crew comes up to you and be like, "So, obviously, you've noticed the strange things." Yes.
Yeah.
The captain, changeling. A few of the other crew as well.
Neat.
So
Very neat.
we're staffed by 10 people, 5 of whom are children.
I'm glad that you are so comfortable in your skins.
Given that number, and you guys counted 20 different people yesterday, you know that there are a few different changelings on the ship.
This is going to be the most confusing game of Clue ever if someone gets murdered.
Who is who?
Oh.
You okay there?
Yes.
Londiel has discovered something.
No. Alondiel wants to talk to some of the staff and see if they can play a joke on Zerdig. Or actually Ore. Play the joke on Ore. And have them all take on Ore's appearance that can.
Ore is the most gullible. Okay. So yes. So when you find this information, does Miseki share this information with you? Is the first question.
I
I
feel
think
like he definitely would with Elandiel because he knows that Elandiel would try to do something like this to Ori.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's hilarious.
All right. So Elandiel, go ahead and give me a persuasion check to talk to the crew.
money, no whammies. 9.
Okay. So with your 9, they just kind of look at you and be like, "It's funny, but we kind of don't have the time for that. There are 4 of us changelings that are adults, and 2 of the children are changelings as well. The one adult who is not a changeling is our first mate, the bugbear up there."
Is there anything I could help with to free up some time?
"What do you know about running a ship?"
I know ropes is involved.
I mean, I can help.
Yeah, they just kind of look at you and Landiel, and they like reach out and tap you on the shoulder and be like, "Yeah, I don't think you'd be much help," in a very kind of condescending tone. And then they just turn to leave and go back to working on the ship.
And I'll tell Miseki, I'm like, I had this great idea, but it didn't seem like they were down for it. They seemed too busy.
Miseki will happily assist if they'll let him. I've got really good mage hand, so I don't have to climb things. And I am very strong.
Okay. And they just kind of look at you and go, "Well, what do you know about running a ship?"
I mean, I'm from the city with no name and worked on the river ships there.
"Yeah, rafts. Very different
Some,
things. Very
sure, but
different."
the general concepts are the same, and I doubt you'll be putting me on the helm or making me avoid the rocks.
Yes. But there's a lot. Guess you could clean. Get down, start scrubbing.
I do have prestidigitation, and I'm not going to get down.
Very well. Tell you what, you take your friend, and you guys go clean in the mess hall, deliver the dishes back to the people washing, help them wash. We'll go prank your friend.
Awesome. We're gonna do it. This is the perfect plan. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
All right. So one of you on the deck cleaning, one of you down assisting in the mess hall cleaning. Ore, where are you at?
I would probably still be on deck, working on the cartography tools and the astrolabe. I'm really kind of focused on trying to figure out the navigational portion of the astrolabe.
Okay, so pretty much the only time that you leave the deck is when you're required to for night, when they want everyone on the deck.
Yes. Yeah, and I am kind of paying attention to the other people that come up on deck and just kind of how the ship works a little bit. In the ship specifically, because I'm trying to use that as the control in figuring out how to best use the astrolabe.
Okay. So over the course of the rest of this day, 3 different crew members come up to you, ask you what you're doing, help you with your navigational tools because they're all a little bit familiar with it, give you a bit of boost, and just kind of talk to you, get to know you a little bit, um, and get to just understand a bit about you as they're helping and teach you this. They all spend about 15-20 minutes with you just throughout the day.
Nice, nice, very friendly crew. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing else really happens on this day. Um, the next morning, as you all wake up, the rooms are divided. Alandiel, Zerdig, and Mizeki in his ring, with Z2 standing at the door. And then the other room is Sadzi with Ore standing at the door, correct?
No, it was. Hold on, I wrote it down. Um, So Sadzi, Mizeki, because he can
Okay,
go in
so
the ring,
Mizeki
and
is in
Ore.
your guys' room. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Zerda, Galandiel, and Z2.
Okay. I wasn't sure where we threw Mizeki, so okay.
Please don't throw Mazeki. It's a very valuable piece of equipment.
If you shake the ring, does it shake what's inside it?
It
My
does
crow will
not.
bite you.
All right. So in the morning, as you are all getting up and getting better, they come to your room first, Alandiel, and wake you up and pull you out into the hall. And they're like, you're gonna love this. And you just see standing outside the door of the rest of them, there are 3 Ores just standing there. And
I make sure to pay extra close attention to depict this moment later.
a few moments later, eventually Ore opens the door as the rest have come out, and he just kind of steps out. And Ore, you see these 3 people who look exactly like you, and they all go, "Hello, my name is Ore," and just perfect, sounds like you in every way. They've nailed your mannerisms down to the T.
Ore is he's gonna have that moment where he looks across the 3 of them, turns around and looks back into the room that he came out of, looks back up at the 3 of them. I too am Ore. Of all the beings I've met in my travels, the 3 of you may be the most attractive that I have ever seen. How have you been on the boat, and I have not noticed you previously? You are all named Ore as well. This is fascinating. Please, tell me where you are from. How many of you have memories of our original time?
Well, now it's sad.
We remember everything from the moment of our creation until we got here and we see you.
Are we supposed to be part of a collective? Please fill me in on what I am missing.
And they're all speaking in unison at this point. We go, "We are one. The longer you are with us, the more you will know, and the more you will learn, and the more you will remember." And you just kind of see Alondiel just kind of barely holding it together past them.
So both the mask and the shield, instantly the expression is enlightenment and joy. Ore is very eager to follow these 3 and just like, please show me everything. I'm not sure how how I'm not connected for this unison conversation, but please.
"Yes, please follow us." And the 3 of them in unison all turn and begin leading their way up to the upper decks away from your rooms. And
Uh,
as you begin following them, they manage to get around a corner before you do. And as you get around the corner, they're gone. Instead, you see that there are a few people that are running away, but none of them are robots or warforged.
I would say just before that, Alondiel and Mizeki are in the hallway watching this go down. As they lead me out past them, I look at them and say, I believe I have found my collective. I may not join you on the rest of your pilgrimage. And then I follow them up the stairs, and around the corner
Have
they all vanish.
fun.
Yup.
Um,
Yeah, I'm gonna look out
huh.
the door at all this and be like, what the actual. What?
All right. So the rest of the day, Ore, you keep seeing as you're on the dock, um, yourself, like just coming up the stairs, and then as soon as they see you, they immediately turn and head back downstairs. Uh, and
Yeah,
this,
every time I see one, I'm going to start following one. So if they start going downstairs, I'm going to rush around downstairs.
and,
And then I would say after like the 3rd or 4th time this happens, I would probably grab Sadzi at some point and say, I have met duplicates of me. I am a collective. I believe
We've
they are
driven the existential
having
robotic
some sort of
crisis.
initiation of challenging my perception.
we are
When you
Legion.
see another of me, please, yes, please see if you can grab them in advance. I could use some help capturing one of me.
I'm surprised they haven't convinced him to like work in the kitchen.
They're having way more fun getting them to chase him around the ship.
Fair enough.
Point Ore is so elated that he has found others of himself that he feels like something in his life has turned a corner. He has never been this hopeful in the almost 2 years of memories up to present. So you have made his day at this moment.
Okay.
Well, yeah, until later when we crush it.
Oh
So-
yeah.
As the day
I
goes by,
smell
this continues
something
happening,
fishy.
and you get Sadzi on board. But after the evening meal, you notice that the person that comes up to take the helm is you.
I start heading towards the helm.
So as you do, you see a couple of the other crew members come and be like, "Whoa, you can't approach the captain while he's at the helm."
I am the captain, and I continue to start walking towards up to the helm.
They're like, "No, you're not the captain. We've clearly seen you. You are not the captain. The captain looks nothing like you." And they kind of try and force and get you to turn around and turn away, looking away from the captain, just kind of getting and blocking the sight. Um, and they manage to do that just enough. Give me a perception check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Yeah, they're making just enough effort to block your line of sight and get you to turn around and notice.
That is a 6.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't notice anything, and they're just kind of forcing you there.
Oh, I rolled deception. I apologize. You said I just clicked the wrong button. Apparently,
Perception, yeah.
perception. So that would be +8. So that's actually 14.
Okay. 14. Yeah, so you don't really notice much as they're kind of getting in the way. Uh, but as they finally get you to turn, you catch a glimpse out of your eye, and you're not at the helm anymore. Instead, it's one of the humans that you've seen at the helm before. And you could have sworn it was you. So,
I'll take a quick moment and sweep my vision across the deck and look for any more of me.
you don't see any more of you.
You have failed the initiation.
Are you rambling on about yourself still?
At the moment that I see that it's not me at the helm, I just look to the two fellows stopping me and be like, "I apologize for any confusion," and I turn and I return to the spot that I've been inhabiting on the deck. I'm looking around for any of my people, my team, preferably Sadzi, since I was the one who kind of roped her in, if she's available.
Yeah, you find Sadzi pretty easy, and Miseki seems to be working. You're not sure what that's about, but
I could care less about Migzeki at this moment. My really fascination is on the other me's that I keep seeing.
yeah, and you find Zerdig messing around as well with Z2. But yeah, Miseki's working on the ship, and you don't see Alandiel at all.
So I will approach Sadzi. Have you seen any more of me?
Have I?
Um,
And have I figured out what's going on?
you haven't seen them since this morning because you haven't really been looking and paying attention for them like Ore has. So like you saw the three of them outside your door this morning when he saw them, but you haven't really been looking and paying attention otherwise.
I figure I'm probably fishing.
Yeah.
Well, no, or I haven't seen any others. I haven't really been looking because I've been trying to catch, hopefully dinner, but I mean, good luck.
Thank you. Again, please keep an eye out for me. I think perhaps there's something amiss. I may go find Alondiel, and I'm going to go try and find Alondiel.
Okay. So given
I'm
that
probably
it's
doing portraits of people or food or whatever time, depending on the time.
no, you are still working, finishing up the cleaning
Still
of the mess
cleaning,
hall.
still doing my chores.
Yup. Your assignment for the messing. So, So yeah, you look around for Alandiel Ore, and you can't find him because you haven't been to the mess hall because you have no reason to go because you don't really eat. And eventually you're just like, no. And you kind of peek in, and yep, there's Alandiel working away scrubbing tables, keeping the mess hall nice and clean.
I approach him. Londiel, I may need some assistance. I believe I am seeing things. I'm not sure if that is something mechanically wrong with me, or if
Is that
some.
possible?
I'm not sure. It is the experience that I'm going through. Um, if I, if it's not too much bother, is there a spell you can use to see if I am functioning optimally?
Zerdig might would
Londio, just
have
lie to him.
something better for you. Um, uh, he's more with the
Machines.
tinkeringness and machines. I'm more of like life and death capabilities. I don't really have anything prepared um, today that I've asked for anything that might help. Um, I'm sorry.
Understood. I will find Zirdig, and I look around for Zirdig.
He was back up on the deck when you initially came down looking for Alandiel.
Then I'm heading back up to the deck looking to see if he is where I last saw him.
Yeah, and so he's there chatting with Z2. They're not exactly where you last saw them. They've moved over and begun talking and laughing with Mizeki.
I approach him and do the same thing. Zirdig, I could use some assistance. I believe there is something amiss. I've been perceiving copies of me throughout the day, starting this morning. I think there is something incorrect going on, or bigger than I can understand. Can you see if there's anything that you can discern as an issue with me?
Zerdig looks at you for a moment, steals a glance at Mizeki, and just kind of nods at Mizeki.
Zeki's gonna shrug.
What do you do, Mizeki?
I mean, he's gonna shrug.
And Zerdig
Like,
just kind of goes and
your
goes,
choice.
I mean, I thought I've been seeing you around the ship like way more than normal today than like the last couple days. But
Have you seen two of me at the same time?
I mean, this morning when we woke up, there were four of you.
So it is not just me who is perceiving this incorrectly. That's a little more reassuring. Thank you. If you do find another of me, please stop them and let me know. I need to have a conversation with one.
You
I need
need
to understand this more. I'm not sure if this is something more divine, or if, since it's not just me perceiving it, it has to be something more divine. There is some importance to this. And then I rush off and start looking for other ores.
Zerdik just turns back to Mizeki. Yup,
Yeah.
he's
I mean,
seeing
now it's
himself
kind of
all
sad.
right. When do we stop this?
I feel like if he starts to cause actual problems, it's a good time. This is amazing.
Yeah, we should probably go find Alandiel.
Yeah, probably.
Since I'm fishing, are they anywhere near me that I might have heard this?
They're on the like middle of the deck, whereas you're at the edge, and they're trying to keep it quiet because obviously they don't want Ori hearing. So you wouldn't really heard much, but you would see them as they start making their way down below deck.
I'm just going to squint at them suspiciously.
I'm just now deeply concerned about like a boat full of assassin changelings.
All right. So you make your way down just as Alandiel is coming out of the mess hall. There he just
I
goes, Ori find you?
Yeah, I do a peek and look to see if I can see our ore or any other ores because I can't tell the difference between them.
Nope. No one is around but the three of you.
I think we might have gone too far. I think we might have broke him.
Yeah, like he's got his memory thing that he's been going on and on about, so I think this was probably the worst person to do this to.
Every
mean, it
once in
was
a
a
while,
short trip.
Okay.
This is day 3 out of 11.
Oh no, I meant for Ore to go insane.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, at present, Ore is just frantically moving about the ship, like as a circuit, just repeatedly going over and over again, trying to locate other Ores. And every time he sees one of you, he just sees to see if there's another Ore near you, and then just kind of dismisses it and moves on. So he is spending until someone stops him, frantically looking for other Ores on the boat.
Right. So after you've been doing this for about an hour and a half, um, as you're making your way around the ship, since you're doing it in kind of a very predictable pattern, you begin to see other Ores just ahead, like following your same path, but just ahead of you. Like you just barely catch the back of them as they're turning the next corner that you would be turning. And this happens pretty regularly through the rest of the night. Make an insight check and a general intelligence check as well for me.
Oh, I might have it on Insight. That's 24.
Okay.
And dirty 20 for intelligence.
Okay. So with that, you're starting to suspect that something is up and that not all is as it seems, because every time you kind of pass by your friends before they retire to their rooms, they all just kind of seem to watch, and you hear a little bit of giggling and laughing as you pass by. But you're starting to.
Who all giggles as I go past by? Is it all of my compatriots or just a few of them?
It's everybody but Satsi.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mizeki is stone-faced with a
Uh-huh.
25 deception.
Uh-huh. So you don't notice Miseki because he got the 25 deception.
Gotcha. So Alondiel and Zirdig at this point are the only two that I
If
catch
this is
giggling.
the end of the second day, I might not be giggling
Third
because I'm
day.
now
Oh.
I'm third.
Well, it's the
of
first
thing
day
going on.
of the thing happening.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I might have giggled a little bit. I probably won't be giggling tomorrow because I'm starting to feel bad.
We're starting to feel bad. Well, this is just sad.
Mhm.
It was funny at first, but since we didn't script it with them, it got out of hand real fast.
Right. And you begin noticing as you're seeing these Ores that are just turning the corner that like as soon as you get to the corner, there's always a crew member there that's just like walking away at that point and not an Ore. And so like you're starting to piece together that yeah, not everything is right, but you don't think there's more of you on the ship. You've met a changeling before, and you're starting to get the idea that that might be what's going on here, and someone has picked you as a target. Why, you
Yeah,
have no clue, though.
the moment I realize that it must be a changeling, I just keep following the same. Like every time I dart around a corner, it's another crew member. I'm going to follow that same one until he vanishes or until I capture him, catch up to him.
Right.
Or there's only one of you and you're very fast.
That was what I was hoping he would get. I was hoping he
Joke
was going to
earlier,
run
but-
really roll low. And that's what I was going to go with. Like, if he had rolled low on both of those things, I would have been like, yep, you're convinced there's one of you, and you're just seeing your past selves. That's how fast you are.
That I actually was thinking the same lines, and I at one point was going to stop to Sadzi and like, I have moved so fast that I am breaking time. And that's what I was going to say. But yeah, now that I've realized what's going on, I'm going to follow the same crew member. So every time they duck over, it becomes another crew member. I'm following that same one. So I'm going to keep line of sight until I catch up to him.
Yeah, so every time you begin following a crew member, like, as you start, like, getting noticed by them, they'll eventually just stop and turn and be like, I'm sorry, can I help you, sir?
Please inform me of what's going on.
We are on a boat from Shadowden to Emberhall. You booked passage with us.
You are on a ship, sir.
Have you been approached by a member of my compatriots to pull some sort of an elaborate ruse at my expense?
I have no idea what you are talking about, sir.
I hold up a platinum.
What the hell? Who gave Ore a platinum?
First of all, Ore, make an insight check to see if you can tell whether they're lying or not.
Sure.
And then secondly, make a persuasion check.
We rolled a
Ori-
natural 1, so that's going to work
Yeah.
out real well for me that I can't tell. I'm
just
trusting this
throw
guy with my
platinum
life.
at him.
Yeah, like this guy, like he has.
I would not have offered him a platinum if he is just like dismissing it then.
Yeah, like he's just like flat out dismissing it. Like you fully believe him, everything that he says. Like as far as you can tell, this man is incapable of lying.
Yeah. With that, I kind of give another quick scan across the ship looking for another me. And if I don't see another one of me, I'm just going to head up to the top deck.
Okay. And at this point, it is getting to the point where they don't want anybody up on the deck, and everybody is coming down and heading to their rooms.
Ori is just going to head back to his room and stand in the doorway facing the door.
All right. Mizeki, are you staying with the elves or with Ore and Sadzi this night?
I'll probably stay with Ori and Sadzi.
Okay. Wasn't sure if you wanted to have midnight talks about your pranks.
Would I have gotten to know any of them good enough to sending one?
I mean, yeah, like you can send basically anybody that you've met. So
Okay, I want to send them it's gone no Ore, gone too far, do me instead, throw off trail. Going yeah.
okay, like still target him, but not as him. Is the response that comes back?
Yeah. I should have planned that better. I haven't been. Okay, I'm gonna figure this out tonight. That's what Alondo's gonna spend his time doing, is coming up with a good sending for proper instructions, because I have all my spell slots. Other than that, what I just sent. Okay.
Because I still think it would be funny if all of a sudden 4 Alondials approach Ore.
Yes. Yeah. It's Alondials now. And downplay like divinity. Like make it seem more random, mystical.
Okay.
Something about like the magic of the ocean.
Okay.
The magic of the ocean. Perfect.
What is this? Some sort of like Bermuda Triangle where you suddenly see mirages or something?
It is now.
He feels bad that Ori's having problems, and his only way to fix it is to make it worse.
Yeah, his
But try
solution
to
is
not
to
be
double
worse.
down.
Yep.
Doubles
Going all
down.
in.
Okay. So the next day, as you guys are all going about the boat, Ore, Alondiel is everywhere today. Like, you are just seeing Alondiel everywhere you go. And he...
The only place I go is up to the deck, and I sit kind of watching for me. And if I'm just seeing Ore or Elandiel over and over again, I'm kind of dismissing it. I'm still looking for other Ores.
Mhm. Yeah, you're not seeing any more of you today. But, like, Alondiel is somehow, like, impossibly fast today. Like, you'll see him coming up onto the deck, and then like 2 seconds later, he's coming up on the complete opposite side. And like he just barely vanished walking down when he comes up on the other side. And this happens a few times throughout the day. But no more sightings of you. Except for one time as you're walking through the hallway, you do see yourself, but you realize it's a mirror.
I still kind of dismiss it. I'm like, in the back of my head, probably thinking, yeah, like Elandiel's fast. That's amazing. He's getting around the ship. And I'm just kind of sad faced that I'm not seeing any other Ores. So I'm still sitting on deck waiting to see one. That's where all of my hopes and thoughts are towards right now.
Okay. All right. Other than that, this day is uneventful. It's not as strong of a wind today as it has been, but still no major storms coming in. Pretty clear sailing. About a week left to Emberhall. Is there anything else you're all wanting to do on the ship?
I just want to fish mostly.
You've been able to catch enough fish to feed yourself every day.
I'm gonna have him do Sadzi
Okay.
after a couple days.
Okay. So after a couple days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like after doing like me for like 2 days, then we'll do Sadzi.
All right. And then eventually, Zerdig.
I'm just deeply upset you can't look like a centaur.
They can look like you just without
Wait,
the
Put a
centaur
limit on
body.
half.
Yeah.
You do realize when they start imitating me, I'm going to be really pissed off.
If you see them. But,
They would have to know to avoid me, don't you think?
yeah. But
Or
you've
they think
also
I
been
was in on
going
it.
fishing every day. They might also
Yeah.
think you're in on it. So. But yeah.
They probably think you're in on it. This has been hilarious.
Okay.
After 2 more days of not seeing any further Ore's just going to be up on deck, leaning on the railing, staring out to the sea.
Okay. A couple days go by, and like you saw Alondiel's more and more for a couple days, and today you see that Sadzi, she's fishing, and you look around and you're still watching out for you because the ship has been a little bit weird and you're not sure what's going on. And Sadzi's fishing, and Sadzi's going down to the lower deck, and Sadzi's coming up to the upper deck from the other set of stairs all at once.
I just grab one of the random Sadzis and say, I'm not sure what has been happening, but I really wish I was able to connect more with those Ore's that we saw the other day. Tell me, is it normal to feel a certain sense of loss when you feel a missed connection with someone that you felt you should be connected with?
So Sadzi, he's managed to grab you as you're fishing there, and just spills this to you.
Or he's trying to date you.
I doubt that. I'm gonna look at him and be like, I mean, I can understand, like, you could have had a connection with somebody, but why do you keep asking me about looking for other people who look like you?
And as you're saying this and you're talking to him, you see what you believe to be a tabaxi tail disappearing down into the ship, and you haven't seen another tabaxi on this ship the entire time that you've been here. And the tails match
Wait a minute.
your colors pretty
That's
well.
my tail. That is my personal. That is my personal tail. So I would like to run over and grab, I guess, whatever I can find, probably the tail of this other tabaxi.
Right. So as you make your way over and start heading down the deck where they were going, where they disappeared, you don't see the tabaxi anywhere. You know that tabaxi are fast and they could have gone into any of the many rooms that are down below deck. But you don't see any of them. You see a couple of the crew members that are wandering about and doing their various jobs on the ship.
Can I try to scent them and track them?
As Sadzi had walked away from me just after I had asked that question, I look back at the sea and I'm like, this is a strange world we live in indeed.
Yeah. Sadzi, go ahead and give me a survival check. And we'll see if you're able to pick up on a scent.
I got a 15.
Okay. You're able to pick up on the scent when you reach the stairs, but by the time you reach the bottom of the stairs, the scent is gone.
Something weird is going on here. Something very weird. I'm going to walk back up to where I was fishing. And I'm going to throw the line down, but I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm going to pay very close attention to what's going on around me.
Okay. So Ore's there, just doing his thing at this point.
Watching the sea.
Just Sadzi's fake fishing for observation cover.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Sadzi, to see if you notice anybody else going on.
She's both fake fishing
Really?
and
An
actually
8.
fishing at the same time.
Okay. You don't notice anything else strange going on, other than the fact by this point in the trip, you've noticed that the crew, like, they change, and there seems to be a number of them, and they've usually been friendly, and they come up and chat with you guys every now and then. But today, for whatever reason, they're avoiding you and Ore. So none of the crew is coming up to speak to you anymore.
Do I know where I can most likely find a crew member other than at the helm?
Yeah, so uh you've seen them around doing various things. There's usually one down below deck patrolling, making sure everyone's staying safe. There's usually a couple of them up on deck cleaning, but for whatever reason, today that's Alondiel. Alondiel's up here cleaning. Um but you don't see like a member of the crew by their uniform up here at all.
Okay. Do I know anything about changelings?
You've met a changeling. He was part of the other group of party, and you know
Oh,
that
yeah.
they can change their appearance, including their clothes and everything, to mimic another humanoid perfectly. So
Okay. Do I know where, like, the crew sleeps or hangs out when they're not working?
you do not.
Okay. I'm gonna try to keep watch out for anyone who looks like they might be part of the crew by what they're doing.
hmm Yeah. So eventually, one of the crew members does make their way up to the deck, just shortly after Rolandiel disappears back downstairs. Um, and you can tell them by their uniform, and they get back up to working on the ship and making sure that everything's going well.
Okay, I would like to gently but firmly um
Ask
pull them
them
to
to
the side
leave.
and pull them to the side and ask them if they know what might be going on, because I'm suddenly seeing tabaxi and there are no tabaxi other than me on this ship.
They just kind of look at you when you're asking about that, and like, yeah, you're the only tabaxi on this ship. Mm. It's strange that you're seeing things. Another one of your companions came up to us and claimed that they were seeing things. Are you all okay?
Oh, I'm okay. Some of my companions may not be, but I'm okay. How many of the crew can change shape?
They just kind of stare at you, like, wait, you don't know? You're and then just kind of quickly begins to walk away.
Oh, no, 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 no. Who put you up to this?
He is bolting at this point, down to disappear and vanish.
I have 35-foot walking speed.
Yep. All right.
I should be able to keep up to him.
Yep. So you begin making your way, and he's just kind of roaming through the halls, just getting back to work. But you manage to cut him off every time he goes to try and turn a corner.
I would like to display my nice sharp fangs for just a second.
He goes, "Look, man, you're getting in the way of me doing my job. I'd appreciate it if you'd retire to your quarters now. If not, we will be forced to retire you to your quarters."
I will go, but you can tell whoever put you up to this that Sadzi knows. And I'll walk off.
All right. And he continues on, going in the opposite direction. About 10 minutes after this, Alondiel, he comes up to you and he goes, "You didn't tell the Tabaxi what you were doing.
She didn't.
You had
I
us
thought she,
pretend to be her, and you didn't tell her about it? We thought she
we didn't.
knew.
We didn't tell Ore. I was trying to cover.
We knew that
cover
we
her
were
track.
messing with him, though. You told us that. We
Yeah.
did not know that we'd be messing with her. She scares us."
That's abandon.
And they don't even know what I am.
Well, if she's scaring you, good point. Good point. Well, let's cut the operation. And for your efforts in playing along, here's a gold each that you can distribute amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna claw out my throat earlier. Yeah.
We'll make it two apiece.
How do you does she go around is she why you guys are so successful all the time?
It's a group effort.
But everyone's afraid of her, right? It's not just us.
Oh, she can definitely be scary. Yes.
Okay. Should we be your friend tomorrow?
You know what? Let's not. He way overanalyzed this in a direction I did not anticipate. Existential crisis level stuff. So that's why I was trying to throw the trail off.
Okay, well, we've got about 4 days left to Emberhall. So
Okay. Also, I do caricatures, so if you guys want to get some really cool pictures to show off at porch or something, I'll throw those in too for you.
okay.
You can pose on deck or something.
Well, and you've definitely captured a few images of the multiple versions of Ore and yourself and Sadzi running around. So, but yeah, they just kind of look at you and go, okay, well, next time tell us who you've told and who you haven't told with your group, because we would have done our best to avoid her. Or we
Sorry
would
about
have
that.
come and let her know.
It was a little unplanned. Little spur of the moment stuff. So
It's been 5 days.
oh, it's been a fun 5 days.
You had plenty of time. It was no longer spur of the moment anymore.
Well, what making the choice to change it was.
I feel like you don't understand how we operate.
And then I'll sending Mazeki, letting him know we're cutting the operation.
Do you tell him that Sadzi knows?
Yes, Santi knows. Be quiet about it. She's scary.
Okay. The rest of the evening goes by fairly uneventful. And
I guess Sadzi knows enough to be scary. Cutting operation now.
okay. So the evening comes, you all return to your rooms for the night. Mizeki, when you get there, Sadzi's already in the room.
Let's talk.
Unfortunately, I need my beauty sleep, and I'm going into my ring.
Remind me, Mizeki, can you hear while you're in your ring?
Yes, he can.
Okay. So I wait for him to go in the ring. And then I take the ring.
Mizeki, the crow's left out and is protecting the ring, right?
Yeah, the crow goes invisible and takes the ring with him.
Okay.
Uh,
So as soon as the crow picks up the ring vanishes as well.
Aha!
Okay, then I'll scream in the last direction that I saw the crow. Miseki, you're horrible! You suck!
I mean, you should just be glad that Mizeki had it go invisible, because I was going to have it peck you.
Well, trust me, if I could find the ring, is he staying inside the room somewhere?
He has every other night this week, and the door has not
Okay.
opened, so...
And is Ore in the room?
Ore has gotten here at this point, as you're screaming about Mizeki.
As I enter the room, I just take my normal position, standing at the door, closing the door, facing the door.
All right, I'm gonna swat just above my head, and hoping to hit the crow.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll with disadvantage. And Mizeki, you can decide if the crow would be over her head or not, and whether it would hit or not.
I mean, it's
But-
probably tried to go away, but
The moment that door opens,
you have
it's
to
out.
right click.
Yeah, but does that door open before the 6-hour mark when he gets ejected from the ring?
Well, no, like as in like Ore coming
Oh,
in. Ore's
yeah.
got to open it enough that it could get out.
Yep. Okay.
A perfect plan.
But the question is, where does he go from
Your
there?
attack roll, the bonus number.
He opens up in 6 hours and knocks on my door.
Satsi kicked me out. Can I sleep with you?
Yes.
I feel like Zerdig probably wouldn't have got along with this too well, but whatever.
It's been unusually quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Since you've called it off, the rest of the boat ride goes by extremely uneventful given what the last several days have been. But you guys eventually arrive in the city of Emberhall.
But it's only an 8.
Okay.
I was going to say the next day I would have used the slippers of spider climb and gone to the top of the mast.
All right. So I rolled an 8 on my attack, but I'm gonna keep yelling at the crow I can't see with the ring.
Okay. So, alright, the entire night, until Satsi finally falls asleep, she's just yelling for Miseki and at Miseki.
What specifically are you yelling out into the air?
And about Miseki.
Miseki, you're horrible. How could you do this? That's the cruelest thing you've ever done. I can't believe, you put them up to this. How much did you bribe them?
Excuse me.
I'm
getting
bite
blamed
you.
a lot.
Yeah, it's like the best
but
part
nothing,
of this is
nothing actually accusing what he did. Just basically a bunch of how could yous.
It's sort of that really shitty argument style where you're like, what did I do? Oh, you know what you did.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Not non-specific accusations. Got it.
And lots of threatening to bite him and drain him dry.
And the
Yes.
best part is Miseki didn't do a thing.
It wasn't even his fault.
Well, he can explain that to me when he gets out of the friggin' ring.
Okay. So in the morning, 6 hours later, Miseki, you pop out of the ring up on deck, where the crow took you for safety in space. And no one else has come out, but you are up and out of the ring. And eventually Satsi's going to find you.
I mean, Miseki's ride or die at this point. Like, whatever.
Okay.
What's she gonna do? Murder me?
Yes, she is.
She might
I'll bring
try.
him back.
So
Yeah.
first thing in the morning, Ore is just going to go up on deck, saying, "Good morning, Miseki." Walk past him and use the slippers of spider climb and just walk straight up to the top of the mast, and then just stand up there, enjoying the wind, rushing through my, I guess gears, and just
And your
watching the
beard.
sea and my beard. Yeah, when rushing through my beard.
Okay. So as you begin climbing, several of the crew begin yelling at you to get down, telling you that you're not allowed up there.
I'm going to dismiss them for a few moments, just enjoy that moment, and then if they start like making an effort to like come up, then I'll just walk back down.
Yeah, eventually one of the crew members does begin climbing up to meet you, and they're fairly skilled climbers, given that this is all that they do.
I just walk down it, all defying physics with the slippers and just like, I apologize for any confusion. I just wanted to see the view.
The fun thing is Satsi could do this too. So, all right.
And I'll just get
Well, I
back to the
absolutely
deck and
could.
go to the stern of the deck and kind of stare out on the ocean in front of us. The land isn't in sight yet, right? It's still just open ocean at this point.
Yeah, because at this point you guys have 2 days left, but there's not a whole lot more going on since there wasn't a lot planned until Alandil intervened. I was like, all right, on the fly, screwing with Ore.
Sure. No, yeah, they're just gonna go to the stern of the ship and just stare off into
Right.
the horizon.
So I did think about for a moment making them kidnappers every time Mizeki said it, though. I was like, that would be funny, but that was not the plan. So
It would be really funny.
So, have I woken up yet?
oh yeah, you've gotten up.
Okay, since I've woken up and found the room empty, I'm gonna stomp upstairs and see if I can find anybody else.
Ore is walking down the mast, and several of the guards are yelling at him, including one who's climbed up the mast himself.
Okay, do I see Mizeki or is he hiding?
Miseki, what did you do once you woke up?
Mizeki's just gonna act like nothing's wrong.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
Is the moon visible this morning, this day? Is it a daytime moon, or has it just been evening?
Yes, the moon has been visible today.
While I'm sitting at the stern of the deck, I'll just kind of keep my eye on the moon and just kind of quietly say a little prayer to Thalia, looking for some guidance.
Okay. All right. So Miseki, you're playing it cool. Satsu, you are not playing it cool. Go.
So, I will stomp up to Mizeki and get as close as I think I can. Well, before he starts backing away. Would you like to tell me exactly what's going on and why you guys were screwing with Ore?
No, not at all.
No, you don't want to tell me. Okay, that's fine. I can have Centaur for breakfast.
I don't think that you can. Do-do-do.
So, hold on.
I mean, are you threatening my life? What's...
No, I wouldn't drain you dry. I will lunge towards you and miss.
I mean, I've got a pretty good ability to be dodgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I only rolled a 7.
Yeah, she rolled a
I'm
nat
gonna-
1, so
I'm gonna thunder wave her off the boat. Not
What,
really.
kitty?
I mean, she could climb back up easier than anybody but Ore.
Yeah,
I
but
also
the
don't have to
emotional
breathe.
Damage. The
She al-
emotional damage.
She also doesn't have to breathe. You would never sleep safely again.
I mean, yeah, I would. I'd sleep exactly as safely as I slept last night. It was great.
You know she's gonna work on trying to kill your crow, though. Like if you did that to her.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not actually planning to throw her in the ocean.
This is probably a good idea for your continued longevity.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So if you personally didn't do it, Mizeki, who did? Was it Zerdik? Was it Elandio?
I am going to lie and tell her that Ore did it with a DC 27.
Okay, make an insight check, Satsi.
I got a nat 20, so that's 26.
Oh!
So close.
So close. You believe him. Ore
Do
did
I?
this.
Yeah,
Do
you
I?
do. Yeah.
Yup.
How did you get a 27 though?
I have a +9.
He has expertise in deception from being a rogue.
Huh. I begrudgingly believe him. So I'll turn to Ore and go over to him and be like, "Did you set this up? Like acting like you were confused just to screw with me, or what's going on?"
You have no idea what she's talking about, Ore.
No, I'm analyzing the words that she said specifically, and Ore just kind of not really looking at you. I believe over a year ago when we first met up, that joining with you would lead me to find myself. And having done so, it was not quite as fulfilling as I believed it would be, it has only left me with more questions.
And way more literal than you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ori, I'm not talking about like the whole course of our acquaintanceship. On this boat, did you ask the crew members to impersonate members of our party to screw with me?
And like a flash of lightning, oh, someone was having a go at me. At us. Huh. No, I don't believe I was involved as though I was involved.
Okay, Mizeki was saying that you planned this whole thing, that you did it, and you were just acting like you were confused.
I don't believe that was the me, but that may have been one of the other me's. I'm still trying to understand exactly what has happened. But if you're saying it was something to do with the crew,
I am
huh.
also still trying to figure out what is happening.
I think
I'm
we all
even
are at this
further
point.
I'm even further confused now. I thought at first I had found myself a true calling of who I am, and then I considered it was some sort of a task put forth by Thalia, or perhaps some other divine. But if it's the crew, perhaps there's something more nefarious going on. No, I am also confused.
Do you want to go find Delandiel and Zerdik and ask them about this? Because I do.
I asked them earlier this week when I first started seeing these. They didn't have any further information. But I will accompany you. And I'm going to follow you.
Okay. I know Alondio usually popped up on deck, so I'm probably going to look for him first. Including in the mess hall, considering I've seen him
Working there.
hanging around in there.
Yeah. Alandia, where are you today? Since you are no longer contracting them, they are not making you work.
I'd go back to the old routine of popping up on deck and enjoying the nice air and looking for a good horizon with birds to paint.
Okay. As you're looking for horizons with birds to paint, you hear and notice that Sadzi is walking over to you with a very clear look of anger about her, and Ori's just kind of trotting along behind.
Okay.
Ori is so devious.
So, Elandio, buddy old friend, would you like to tell me why there have been crew members impersonating me, Ore, and you? Because I'm pretty sure you haven't learned how to teleport around the ship.
That's not really one of the things that we do. You're right.
So, is playing cruel tricks on your party members, is that something you do?
No.
And I would like to flash Fang.
Is this hazing?
Is what hazing?
It's about to be my blood supply. That's what it's about to be.
I'm having a great time.
So assertive.
Was this a practical joke?
What is this that you speak of?
The duplicates running around the ship of myself. Did you have a hand in that?
Because if so, that was really messed up. I mean,
And
you know Ori's been looking for other Warforged like him.
Yeah, and Alondo's very clearly it doesn't take a check to see that he's uncomfortable at the moment and knows he's been got.
Did you do this with malicious intent?
No. Okay. It got out of hand.
Ore
I
just
didn't
reaches up and
expect it to
hugs you.
go like it did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ore just embraces you in his arms and gives you a big hug.
And I cry a little.
Oh,
I didn't mean for it to. I thought it was gonna be funny. I thought you'd see them, and then like they started talking, and I didn't plan it very well, and
Ori, can
like
you turn him around
they
so I
went
can get
full
to the
in on
neck?
it, and man, like I'm
We cannot
sorry.
fight
I
your
tried
party.
to throw it off to make you feel better by like having it be me, but it looks like that just made things worse. And then like to try and throw that off and make it seem I'm sorry, Saz. I didn't know. I almost died. Like for someone who's been around death so much, confronting my own mortality against those orcs, and that warlock's power, I have never felt that way. Like to
I have
have
much compassion and appreciation for you as well. And then I turn like away from him, still have him in my arms, and I look to Sadzi. I have read about this. Camaraderie is something that companions do when they have a great deal of admiration and appreciation for each other.
and I give you a big hug back, crying in your shoulder, saying I'm sorry.
I
It was
believe this
it
is
was
a.
supposed to be funny.
Perhaps it is. I unfortunately don't understand organic humor as often as I think I should. But thank you for including me. I feel
Ori,
very connected to you.
this wasn't funny.
It was hilarious.
You know, they tricked you. They intentionally used something that they knew was important to you and kind of used it against you.
I mean, not intentionally.
Yeah, and
I-
and where Elaniel even has kind of like broken down over this, I don't have any reason to believe that he is anything less than genuine. So then I would kind of like reiterate to Sadzi, I don't believe that was his intent, and I don't really understand humor, but perhaps it was funny. I'm
wasn't
still
very
confused.
wasn't very funny to me. And that's like saying, "Oh, well, I didn't intend to have a dampier bite me when I went out hunting." Still freaking happened though, didn't it?
So I look to Elondiel and I say, I believe you have to have a separate conversation with her. I will heal you when you are done. And I take a step back.
Is this the first time you've mentioned that out loud to the group?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, this hasn't come up before.
Yeah, I'm like, I know it's come up with other people that know you're a Dampier, but I don't think it's come up with the party directly.
They know I'm a dampier. We had this whole discussion in Harrington.
Okay.
Did we not?
I thought we did. I thought Ori was in on that conversation.
I don't know if
Oh.
Everyone was a part of it?
Because some people didn't go all the way into town.
Yeah.
I barricaded in a room
Oh
to
yeah.
not be murdered.
Well, I may
Yeah.
forget this
Of
fact
murder.
and just happen to have my fangs out the entire time I'm talking because I'm really freaking angry.
So you've just revealed this to several of the team members who did not know this information.
No, I've been talking to Ore, who already knew, and
Yeah.
Alondiel. I don't think
But-
anyone else was there.
Misaki's not too far
definitely
away.
He's on deck.
Yeah. He's
Oh.
definitely nearby.
Ori's really surprised he didn't accidentally tell out the whole party at some point either.
Yeah, because Hore's not good at keeping secrets.
Nope. No, he doesn't understand them. Doesn't get it.
And it hasn't caused any problems for the party yet.
None whatsoever.
Just a minor
Except for
case of
derailment
imprisonment.
of an entire arc.
Well, I mean, I keep asking Mizeki to hold bags of blood for me. I find butchers everywhere we go. If y'all can't put 2 and 2 together and get 4, I'll know what to tell you.
You were just weird.
Right now, what I am is angry.
I use my like detect, what's that ability? Eyes of
When
the
you used
Grave.
that before, you did get a faint aura of undead from Satsi. But it was like
Did I?
super faint. So I
don't know
do
if
remember
that
telling you
works.
that when you entered Harrington, because you turned that on.
Did I? No, I don't think I did, because that would have like given off everywhere.
Yeah, that's why you did it.
Yeah.
is because after you had been attacked.
That's right. Yeah, after I did get bit, I was like, okay, what's going on? That's right.
Yep. Because you didn't cover your symbols, like, because you dove into the city from the cliff instead of walking down it.
Sounds like someone's upset.
No one ever said we were sensible.
No, you are not. It has created some very interesting on-the-fly moments that I've had to been like, okay.
So to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I wipe my face. I am sincerely sorry, Sadzi, for any discomfort. They were just around corners, just trying to make it less for Ore. I did not mean for any of this to get out of hand as it did. Did they do anything to you?
No, but you need to offer Ore a sincere apology. He's been coming to me 2 and 3 days, upset over the fact that he couldn't find the other Warforged he saw. And trying to figure out what's going on and basically having like an emotional existential crisis. That's just
I
pardon my
believe I am better
language.
now.
That was. Never
Pardon my
mind.
language,
He doesn't
but
forgive what happened.
that's effed up, man. That's really effed up.
one of the crew members who's walking by at this time just says, "Yeah, she's right, you know." Totally.
I know. I'm gonna go back to my room.
Before you go, it had allowed me a moment of perspective and introspection that I do appreciate and probably would not have had this not happened.
I'm glad you're able to get some fun out of it. Again, it was never my intention for it to go the way that it
Sideways.
did. It went sideways so fast. I'm gonna leave the planning to other people from now on. I'm truly sorry, Ore. But I am
Apology is
glad to
accepted.
hear that you were able to get something from that. Sorry it came at other expenses.
All right. Well, with that, and you resolving everything on the ship, the last couple days go by, and the crew is pretty much avoiding all of you at this point. Um,
For the remaining days, Ori will go back and just do exactly what he was doing from before, and just like working on the astrolabe, doing his cartography tools, just kind of picking up where he left off before getting existential.
all right, and you guys arrive in Emberhall. For Alandiel, you've been here before. This is pretty normal to you. For the rest of you, you remember Ilixnam, where you arrived on the edge of the forest, where it was very elven architecture. Emberhall is that, but about 3 times the size of Ilixnam. Alandiel, you know this city, you know your way around. You can very easily find what you need to get out and make your way to Delistar.
Okay.
So you make your way through to where you can rent a carriage and horses. It is fairly common practice that they have several that go back and forth every day. And it is 10 gold for a carriage trip. And the carriage will fit up to 10 medium or smaller creatures. So the 5 of you plus Z2 can easily all fit into the carriage. Mizeki, it's a bit awkward for you, but you are able to get in there as well.
Hooray.
And
We should make you pull a carriage.
we've tried every time he gets offended when we suggest that. But yeah, you begin making the way up the road from Emberhall to the capital city of Delistar. For those of you who have never been to the island, you'll notice up to the north, way past where you're heading, especially as you get closer and closer to Delistar, you'll see the forest. The trees do grow very tall here, and from what you can see, they cover the entire northern section of the island, just with how far back that you can see them. If it hadn't been for the fact that you guys had been to the Joy of Trees, these would be the tallest trees that you have ever seen.
So they're like the second tallest.
Yeah, they're pretty huge. These ones are a lot thinner and narrower than the ones in the Joy of Trees, and they're a lot more densely packed because of it, but they're not quite as tall as some of the trees you saw back there. But that's way off in the distance, because it takes 2 weeks just to get to Delistar, and then from Delistar to the actual edge of the forest is another 2 days. But about a week on from Emberhall, you can really start to make out how large the forest is. You continue, and the road has been fairly clear, which for you, Alondiel, you are quite grateful, because you remember the last time that you made this trek. Granted, you were
Getting
going in
shot
the
by.
opposite direction, and you didn't make it to Emberhall that time because of everything that was happening. But you are quite grateful that it is not so active this time. But eventually, the 2 weeks pass, and you arrive in the city of Delistar. If you thought Emberhall was impressive, for those of you that are impressed by the elven architecture and the size of it, it is nothing compared to the size of Delistar. Delistar is almost the size of Drusus, but it is all the very sleek elven architecture compared to the human architecture of Drusus. Delistar just looks magnitudes better of everything. You thought Orthrus was nice with how perfectly clean it was. Delistar, you can tell that there's dirt and things in there, but somehow it still shines even brighter than Orthrus.
It's fancy.
Very fancy. Alondiel, you know where to go to start your pilgrimage and to get your information and begin leading through with your party to there. As you make it to the destination and you go inside to receive your instructions and to begin, you're surprised to be greeted by an old friend. I forgot his name all of a sudden. Oh my gosh. Alphin. I can't believe I forgot his name. He's one of my
Nice.
favorite characters. I'm just like, Alphin is here. And he goes, I knew you'd be arriving now. Well, or soon at least. It's good to see you, and you've brought your friends. Sorry that you couldn't come with us, but you understand why.
Yes.
And
I can't remember. Do you speak Orcish? Can you read it?
I can indeed. I
We
read most languages.
we had a bit of a event on our travels, and we were ambushed by a group of orcs, and we were able to get some. We found some letters in some secret pockets from them,
Okay.
and none of us have been able to make out what they mean.
All right. Let me take a look. And you guys hand over the 5 pages. He looks at the first one that just has a few lines, and he goes, "This is just communication between a husband and wife. Just a quick little note. See you in the evening." And he goes and he looks at the next one, and he reads it. And those of you who have an insight, passive insight of at least 16, you see as he's reading it, just for a moment, his face goes dark a bit, and then he goes back to his normal stoic self. He wasn't quite able to hide it. And he takes it and folds it up and puts it away. And then he continues on into the next one. begins reading it.
Did he give a breakdown of what it was, or
He did not.
just pocketed it? Okay.
Just pocketed it.
Was that the long 5-page one?
No,
I
so
mean,
you got 5
multiple
pages
page?
in total.
Yeah, that's right.
So the first page was just like a couple lines. This next one was a few paragraphs that he read through. So as he gets to the third one, he just kind of goes and he looks at it, and he turns over to Mizeki and he goes, "Who'd you make your pact with? I know you've made a pact. Don't give me that look. Who did you make it with?"
What?
It's my job to
What?
know things.
Okay, sure. Can we talk about this later?
If you'd like, we can talk about it privately.
That would be appreciated.
I guess. All right. And
Can I glare at Mizeki and chime in? Oh, he's got a crow that follows him around.
okay.
That's super big on
And,
purpose.
and he looks to the rest of you and then turns and leads Mizeki into a back room. Who did you make your pact with?
I have to make sure I say his name correctly. Do I want to say his name? Do I feel? Am I getting any sort of indications from the wind spirit that this would be a bad idea?
No, he's not giving you any kind of indication that this is a
Okay.
bad idea. But more so, you're getting, it would be a bad idea to not tell from
Yeah.
Alphen.
Yeah.
You've seen what Alphen can do to people.
Yeah. Valaris of the South Winds?
You're trying to free?
I've agreed to do so.
All right. You've got some enemies. They're going to be coming after you because they
That's
don't
always
want
been
it
true.
done. They're coming after you because of your pact.
Okay.
The second note that I got was a description of your entire party, specifically giving as much detail as they could about you.
I mean, that's kind of easy to do. I do stand out. I am.
Your whole group stands out. You're an odd bunch.
Yes.
What have you learned about how to free Valaris?
Basically nothing, right? Yeah, thus far, I know of Archmage Julia.
Do you know where to find her or her book at all?
No. I have someone looking to work on that, but I haven't heard anything yet.
How familiar are you with the continent? I know that you are from the city that can't be named, and that you've done a bit of traveling since winning the chance to escort your counselor to the festival last year, or 2 years ago,
Mizaki's
I
not
guess.
very familiar with the larger continent. Like, he's traveled a bit, right? But yeah, not very. I've definitely traveled some lately, but I spent most of my life in a single area.
There are a few mage colleges around, several centered various places. One of the largest centered in Drusus. One of the most secretive centered in a city that we don't put on the map because they don't want us to. Huntington, have you heard the name?
I don't actually remember if Mizaki's heard the name, but I've looked at stuff. I think so. Wait, hold on. Yes.
Because you heard about the
Yes, I
college
specifically have heard of it. Yeah, the college.
as
Yeah,
during
and
your
I don't know where
research.
it exists. Yep.
Yes, all right. Huntington is in the far south of the continent. So, as you make your way past further south of Utra's Folly, down towards the Blighted Woods. As you continue on making your way to the tail, you will find a city along the coast on the south side. Make your way to the city. Tell them that you are looking for further education in the arcane arts and wish to keep it secretive. And give them this. And he hands you a token. This will get you access to the city of Huntington. From there, you can find the college and find the information that you seek. But I would suggest you find a way to disguise yourself as best as you can before going there. Because he takes the third piece of paper that he was reading, the one where he stopped and asked you who you made your pact with, and he goes, because they're looking for you. They know everything about you. You're not safe while you're trying to track this down.
I have fans.
And I have a problem with that, because Alondiel is my friend. And if you lead Alondiel into danger, and he dies because of something that you want to do, you will live to regret everything you have ever done in your life. Do we understand?
Fair. Realistically, if Elandil dies, I've probably also died.
It's good to hear. He's a good kid.
Sure. He's really good at art.
All right.
I don't know if Mizeki can make a judgment on good kid.
If you need anything else, find people with that symbol on the token I gave you. They can help
Okay.
you.
Thank you. This is very strange. He's not going to say that aloud, but he'll say thanks and try and get away.
And he leads you back out into the room with everybody else.
Awesome.
And his demeanor changes a bit from the very kind of talking stoically, but with a hint of anger and don't F up, to his normal jovial tone.
Okay.
And he goes, so, Alondiel, you are ready to begin your pilgrimage, and your friends are coming with you.
Yes.
So, as you know or may not know, Maple Stump is not actually a full month away. However, we encourage you to take a month to get there. There are several campfires set up along the path from here to Maple Stump, and we encourage you, whenever you feel the prompting, to stop and stay at the campfire until the following day. During the nights, at any time you stop during the campfire, you may be challenged with something. Although they are not always real, the effects and consequences of what you see and what you do and what you hear may be very real. So be careful. And those of you going with him, you may also see some of these effects, although they will primarily be targeted towards Alondiel and Desertig because of their elven heritage. Anybody has the chance to see these things. Just know you may learn things about yourself that you're not ready to learn. Uncover fears that you have. Relive some of your deepest regrets. See your hopes crushed.
I would like to get off the ride, Mr. Bones. This sounds terrifying.
You do not have to go. But Alondiel, we do encourage that you do. The rest of you, you're free to stay and wait for him to return. Or go with. The choice is yours.
I will join my companion on his pilgrimage.
I'm not the patient type. I'd rather go with him.
Zerdy's like, sounds interesting. And everybody just turns to look at Miseki.
I mean, I guess if we're gonna be butts about it and do all this, sure. We came all this way. Might as well. It's gonna sigh dramatically. You all suck.
Right back at you.
All right. And so, with that, in the morning, you will all be able to set out onto the pilgrimage. So, you all get one more long rest in the city of Delistar. And in the morning, you are to set out on Alandiel's pilgrimage. Miseki, you now have some additional information and resources that have been provided to you, and you alone know the dangers that you are bringing to the party because of what you are seeking. Do you wish to share this with the party in the evening or in the morning before you leave?
I mean, we're already regularly in danger, right?
You do tend to get put in danger frequently, but now you are actively being hunted.
I feel like he's going to tell them, but he's going to exclude some information and just basically be like, hey, they're actively hunting us. It relates to magic.
Us or me?
Us.
Okay.
Because they are actively hunting us to get him, but we're not going to talk about that part.
Who are they?
I don't have a good answer to that question.
Without giving away information you don't want to give away.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to tell you that part since I don't know it myself. Bad people is all I've got, really.
Do you say more like the orcs that we fought? Give that clue at all? Or
Yeah. Because, okay, so he has no problem sharing information about what's happening as long as it doesn't in any way insinuate that it's his fault.
okay.
That was what was in those notes that we retrieved from the orcs.
That appears to be some of it, yes.
Did they mention anything of the packages that we are currently in possession of?
You were not relayed anything about those?
Yeah, no. So no, nothing about that as best I could tell. It was quite a lot of information all at once, though.
But they are after us for some sort of magic purposes.
Yes. I assume we've upset someone. We tend to do that.
It
You
does appear
haven't
that
been
that has
blitzed.
happened more than one time in our travels together.
All right. So with that, we will go ahead and end tonight's session, and we will pick up next time with setting out on Alandiel's pilgrimage and see how that goes. But thanks everybody for coming, for hanging, for watching with us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.